Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Guess the WN8, a series where my viewers submit replays and I have to guess their stats based entirely on their gameplay. If I get within 250 of their WN8 or 2% of their wins, then I win, and I don't have to give them gold. If I don't, then I give them 500 gold for posterity. This is another pay-and-replay submission. If you want to guarantee that your submission is used, you can read all about how to submit in the description. If you submit via a paid submission, it is guaranteed to appear in an episode and be burned upon the pyre of my anger. Anyway, CS52. Fairly pleasant Polish medium tank. Tank commander's going to be very annoyed. But yeah, I enjoy this tank, and we're working with vents, optics, and a rammer. Fairly standard setup for a medium tank, I would argue. And we're working with a 50 top speed, so could potentially get into the middle here. But you want to be a little worried about facing those beezies. With those turbos, they may get into a position like the middle a little earlier than they otherwise might. It looks like he's thinking about the boost here, maybe. We'll have to see if he turns and looks at that in a second. Now, we're going to be working with 7 degrees of gun depression as we come up here. Now, that's unfortunate. 208mm of standard pen with 20 alpha damage. Oh, and a bit of indecision costs him the shot there. That's unfortunate. Yeah, well, can't make too harsh a judgment about that. We've all been there. Now, let's see if he does the boost on the way back. No, doesn't appear to. Okay, so if we were relocating to this flank, there is a boost from both sides. It's harder from this side, but you can boost up here and go up that way. Takes a little bit of practice, but it's not a difficult boost to do, and it opens up a good few opportunities for relocation between the two flanks. Interesting that we're going to the right here, but yeah. Now, with 7 degrees of gun depression, the turret armor of this vehicle feels rather pleasant. I think in the gun mount it's around like 212, somewhere around there. But you do get areas of the turret that go like up to 400 on the outer sides at the angles. Cupolas, of course, are weaknesses. They present about 90 to 100mm of armor, really not remarkable. Speaking of not remarkable, 0.36 accuracy with a 2.3 second aim time, and the exact alpha damage there, 320 coming out. Now, I do like this relocation. At this point, we've got to ask questions. What's unspotted on the enemy team? And the answer is a T-28 and an STRV. Now, those certainly are threatening in terms of trying to make a push, but that M46 pattern is platooned with the STRV. And generally, when tanks are platooned with each other, you can assume that they are in support of each other. It's not always the case, but it's a fair assumption to say, okay, that pattern was yellowing down here. He probably had the STRV up here behind him overwatching. Right? It's just a balance of probability. Given that information, I'm curious as to why we're coming high here as opposed to going low. We're not threatened by a push here, really. We're not going to suddenly have an STRV and a T-28 coming screaming along here. It's highly unlikely. So the best play here would be to pursue this low ground until you get into that position. And if you do get attacked there, over here, you've got a multi-level engagement with the STRV behind you. Coming over the open here, and you getting a side shot from a stealth STRV up on the high ground around here. So just something to consider. I think you should have gone lower here just to maintain your subtlety as you close into the enemy. Though I do think that pressuring forward here is the correct play. Again, we've got to do a mass exercise. The maximum amount of tanks that the enemy can have over here is 2. And they do have mid-presence, which is something to be concerned about. Alrighty, let's see. Should take a shot from an STRV here, but don't. Interesting. So what was the spot from earlier? Surely the STRV. T28 has been spotted. I like the fact that we're taking ground here. We don't need to ask for permission. Consent is given by the absence of the enemies. Okay, though that's not a kind of shot you want to be waiting around speculating on. Now, STRV making good plays there, I would argue. It was probably him that spotted the fine Admiral Funk earlier, and he has relocated back to a more defensively orientated position. Okay, STRV's moving past you. Let's do something with that if we can. Alright, we want to be aware the STRV's going. I might say follow me, and I might go with him. Okay, we do finally get this .36 accuracy to work. Oh, okay. Side shots or any shots on the Jagdpanzer. Okay, I don't mind this. Now we're looking at going a little forward. Are we going aggressively? Yes, we are. Might have been an idea to tell the STRV to follow you. Okay, STRV on the high ground, a little worrying, but we know that when he's not in siege mode, he's gonna... Did you get a track shot there? That is wild. Okay, we don't need to pressure here if we don't want to, but we do get the track. He's already squandered his repair kit. Ram into... Okay, so the play there, in case he had a repair crew, what I would have done is I would have come close to the side and I would have given him a ram on the way past to reset the track repair. Right? Because you're never exactly sure just how quickly the tracks are going to go back on. Right? So I would have given him a little bump just to reset it. Just in case I didn't reload quickly enough. And we do get this solid position. We've got the STRV coming in behind. And this is a rather violent affair. Being booped violently. And we're keeping that track shot going on. STRV gets the lamp kill. Lovely stuff. Okay, 100mm of arse armor on the IS-4 there. Shot goes high, unfortunately. And Lantern shot misses. Now, this bush here... Ooh, okay, IS-4 is pushing mid. Yes, we can work with our snapshot. May want to load premium here. The 50 TP got a connection there and bounced APCR. That's wild to me. So APCR on this tank, 252mm a pen. Not particularly remarkable. I don't know about leaving that position. It was fairly strong. You had the high ground over that 50 TP and could maybe have poked some shots into the... Oh, this is nice, though. Oh, and APCR being loaded there. We still know we got that T28 at distance, or at least with theories. I did not know... I was not aware that this position existed. I might have to use this myself in certain defensive plays on this map. Let's see. Panzerquap is having a good old kerfuffle with that IS-4 in the middle. And the Holy has come to support his IS-4, and Panzerquap should be going down. Yes, indeed he does. And we're relocating. Very bold considering the 50 TP's position. What the... Okay, 50 TP leaves. I guess scared of the G-Source position. Wow, okay. This game has been very odd to me. Very odd indeed. Hello, Chaos. I'm doing okay, thank you. I'm just trying to analyze how good I think this particular player is. And certainly, working the high ground here, I'd be worried about being spotted by the mid at this point. what do we do? It's difficult. You're kind of in a situation where you want to... It's that circumstance in the game where you want to let the enemy team make mistakes. You want to give them permission to do something dumb and then take advantage where you can. But I'm seeing that G-Saw... I was going to say I'd like to help or enable that G-Saw, but... goes down alone, unfortunately. Probably should not have been YOLOing off completely isolated. Okay, and telling the Conway to stay with the STRV, not... It's difficult. It's always going to be a gamble. I don't like going off alone. We've got 6 minutes left. Enemy tanks generally aren't patient enough to wait out a situation like this. But then again, if you got a Conway on Overwatch, do you really need a CS? What I might have considered doing is actually coming down low under here and trying to poke around in this area right here. You both spot, you're covered by the Conway. Conway covers behind you and covers above you. And you are in network with the STRV and the Conway if you're there. This way, if you land into the Holy solo, you're just dead. If you land into the IS-4 solo, you're going to have trouble as well. I just don't like being alone. Generally, in situations like this, you want to put yourself in a position where you are networking. In terms of when you have 3 players left on the battlefield, make a triangle. Right? Triangles are good. This supports this, supports this, supports this. Right? If you have 4 players, make a square. If you have 2 players, make a line. I'm going to start using that to teach people concepts. That's a good tutorial concept. Anyway, okay, we're getting vision. If our 6th sense goes off, we can... Oh, what? Oh, the IS-4 just YOLO'd out in the middle of the open. What the heck? Okay. Alright, can we go low, please? Can we go low under here? Why are we YOLOing off alone? We're doing exactly what the G-Saw did to get himself killed. Right? I don't like it. If we go there, we have excuses to push. We're covered by the Conway. We can push up below these buildings here, although we'd need the Conway to be around D2, D3 to justify pushing up under here, I think. But I don't like the isolation. We'll see. Maybe it'll work out. Sometimes it does, but from a tactical point of view, I believe a play like this is inferior to... Well, I mean, we're... Oh. Wait. Why did I think... I thought that was the enemy cap circle. This whole game, I thought that... Oh my god, that's embarrassing. I was looking at the cap siren and wondering why the cap siren wasn't going off. Oh no. Okay. Anyway, yes, I am a twit. You are quite right. Okay, so do we pressure up the ass of the Holy? I'd be so concerned at this point about just getting solo played on the Holy, because the Holy has a bit of armor and it has a bit of mobility. So pushing up the middle here is really questionable. Okay, maybe trying to go for the 50 TP first. This I like more than committing into the middle right now. Okay, so obviously if you poke here, you're gonna get action from the Holy fairly quickly. So whatever the case, you need to deal with this engagement quickly. Alright, so it might well be worth, you might get a circumstance here where you want to take the hit from the 50 TV. You poke out, you get a pinning shot, alright? then you have to finish him with the second shell. And it might be worth just taking the hit and taking the damage, because after that, what do? Well, you have to naturally assume that the Hurley is coming up behind you, right? Relocating from the middle, coming up there. So at that point, once you've cleared this angle, you can come down into this land and put yourself here. You proxy spot the guy above you, you still have fast support from the Conway, and if the Hurley comes behind you, you can keep going down here, maybe start working your way back up to the middle, and if the Hurley follows you at that point, he's exposed all the time to the Conway, so we'll have to see how you do with this. Very nice. Did you not get spotted? Did I just not see the Sixth Sense? How is that bush modeled to cover that entire corner? We could literally see it through. Are you telling me that 50 TP can't see through here? Oh my, okay, well, that's news to me. I've learned something. Right, now the Conway needs to come in and start using his... Whoa, what are we doing here? What was that? What was that? That is... No. Why are we... Why? Why not just go here? Just go here, wait for the Conway to come in? That is a brilliant defensive position. He can't get you by coming low without exposing to the Conway. He can't get you by coming high without also having to expose to the Conway. You're lying over here. If he's got any presence in the mid or is looking this way, then... Oh, no. Okay. Alright, Conway needs to come in and use his hit points at this point. He has sat at the back for long enough now. And it does look like he's moving, to be fair. And again, we're isolating. This is really poor tactical play. Really poor tactical play. We don't isolate when we have a 2-on-1. And sitting the Conway in the cap is really poor playing right now. Conway has some of the highest DPM at the entire tier. And it has more hit points. All you do here is you just group up and you clear the mid together. Okay, so this is better than going all the way this way. I really don't know why. Here's what we did, right? We came up to this position, we killed the 50 TP, then we went all the way down, exposing to crossfire as we did, to go all the way around and come back up to the place that we were before we went down. Oh no. Okay. Not great, but we do have cap in time to win the game. And this is a decent position. If the Hurley comes down this way, crossfire from the Conway is lovely. If the Hurley pokes up behind you, I'd be a little concerned. Thing is, you have to look at the circumstance of the game. If the Hurley pops up behind you, he's not a threat, right? He is not a threat because you have this leg. You can conceal behind the leg, and he takes a load of shots in the side from the Conway, right? So what you should be doing in this situation is you should be sitting, like, on the other side of this bush. You should be sitting here. So that if the Hurley comes up behind you, you have a better chance of being concealed by this foliage. Because which side bothers you more? Right? If the Hurley appears there, he can't get the kill because you've got the leg. So it doesn't matter if he spots you. If he appears behind you, he's got a clean kill shot. So you should be there because it's more dangerous to get spotted by him there than it is by him there. So little optimization with this position. I do like the fact that we're in lines of support with the Conway, which is fairly nice. Hopefully the Conway holds its nerve. Oh, okay, now we're moving forward. We know that our Holy is being pressured. Should have a good shot here. Oh, and yes, we do. Okay. Right. So, hello, Commander. Yes, I've just been being very mean about your tactical misstep. You didn't miss much, don't worry about it. But yeah, there were a lot of tactical missteps in this situation. Playing of the end game, in some ways I applaud the sort of optimism of doing, you basically flanked the entire map, but there was no overarching purpose for that, really. We weren't pressuring or defending our cap from a perceived threat. We were just kind of moving because we thought something good might happen out of it. What we did by doing that is we abandoned the network of support that we already had established between the two tanks that we had. Right? As I coined earlier, if you have 3 tanks, make a triangle. If you have 2 tanks, make a line. If you have 4 tanks, make a square. Right? This is to impress upon you the importance of network of support, especially in endgames like this. So pushing up low, making that triangle position between the Conway up here, the STRV here, and the CS low would have been really, really strong. And it's what makes the difference between people with lesser stats and lesser win rates and people who win more games. I see so many comments on YouTube saying, win rate is pure luck, the game's rigged, you can't control the outcome. Well, yeah, you can't control the outcome of every game. Sometimes it's not your fault, but what good players do is they will combat as many different outcomes as possible. Right? They will put themselves in strong positions which are able to handle and receive the unpredictability that is present in World of Tanks. And so while in this game, in this particular context, doing what Commander did in this game was obviously not a bad play for the game, it won the game. Right? It's stuff like this that over many, many games will lose you more than it wins because it is tactically inferior to a number of things that can happen. So, what am I thinking? It feels like sort of 51 at most. I want to say like 50 is my instinct. It feels somewhat average. I'll go 50.85. And for WN8, I will go 1,230. No, I'll go 1,332. On NA, okay, let's see. I hope I get this right so I don't have to log into NA. Let's see. Oh, that is very good. And yeah, doing a lot better recently. Look at that, I was 3% away. 3% away from the wins. Yeah! Go me! Okay. Good stuff indeed. Always like to see players improving over time. 55% is very good indeed. Cool. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, hello, welcome back to When You're Playing number 2, Holy on Corellia, with what I can only imagine to be full premium AP here. 37 shells, 40 in total, only 3 HE shells. Oddly enough, they have 90mm of pen, 900 alpha damage. You'd look to see maybe a few more sort of in the 5 or 6 range in my opinion, but choices are choices. So standard shells are 305 pen, we don't have any of those, so we're seeing 360 pen, and really, I mean, can you blame the guy? Right? It's one of those things where if your standard and your premium shells do not differ between armor piercing and any kind of high explosive shell. Premium shells are just better. It's why people fire so much premium in things like the 50B, because there really is no point in firing standard ammo, especially so in this tank. Standard ammo 980, shell travel time premium 1150, so leading targets at distance is easier. Vents, bounty armor, bounty turbo. Interesting. Let's see what it does with it. And a vent purge. Oh, and it looks like we have no engine audio. I will correct that in just a moment. Bada boosh! Okay, so 0.34 accuracy on this gun with a 2.5 second aim time. Does feel a pleasant gun with a 700 alpha damage, rocking around 2,850 DPM. And it is a defensive assault. Let's take stock. 1, 2, 3, 4 TDs. And the enemy... like, the thing about assault games is generally you can look at the team lists and you can say one team has an advantage and one team doesn't. 90% of the time that's gonna be the defensive team, because defensive assault should win 70% of the time just from a tactical point of view. But chat, Twitch, I'll give it a pause. YouTube, I'll cut out the big breaks, so it's fine, you don't have to fast forward. Here's the question, chat. Which team has the major advantage here, and why? It's not a hard question to answer. The attacking team? No. How are you guys guessing the attacking team? How are you... They can blind tank E4 spot anything. Yes, they can get a light tank in the middle and spot people who are done. That is true. They have to kill all of the enemy tanks or cat the base. And they have 3 STRVs non-platooned. They are on offensive assault, and they have 3 of the most defensively orientated tank destroyers in the entire game. Like, literally the only thing the defensive team have to do is just nothing. You just sit in a strong position and you win. Now, this is random games of World of Tanks, so they're probably not going to do that, but from a tactical point of view, the way you win this game is just by saying, okay, come at me. Come at me with your siege mode tank destroyers. Do your best. So, yeah, defensive team have a major advantage here because it's very hard to attack with siege mode TDs. Of course, it's easier if the enemy are going to give you targets, which, given that 3 of the defensive team have died already, seems like something our team is enthusiastically doing. It's also easier if the defensive team decides that attacking into 3 STRVs is the superior play. Superior play picked by the STB and Minatorio currently, so we'll have to see how that goes for them. Not very well, I am guessing. Yes, Sixth Sense will go off once he gets spotted. So, just something that we have to deal with watching this old patch replay. I don't understand the 1-2 line right now. I don't understand. Why are we attacking the enemy that has 3 STRVs? Why? It's defensive assault! Doesn't it say it as you're loading to the game? Keep the friendly base secure or destroy all enemy vehicles. My dude! This is a good relocation, by the way. Put himself in a pertinent position to defend a flank that was compromised. Okay. Very nice. And 360 pen. Even penning the upper plate of an E75 at that angle wild. We gotta remember, because it is a armor-piercing form of shell, it is going to lose pen over distance. Not nearly as much as an APCR shell would, but enough to maybe matter when you're shooting at the upper plate of a E75. Let's watch for IS-7. There we go. Nice. Okay, and that Leo's still alive somehow. Don't imagine that'll be the case for much longer, but he's on the high ground there, so we want to watch this corner, see if we can shut things down for him. Leo's doing God's work, holding there. Oh, the T10 does have an angle, and that could be an Ammonak. That kind of shot could take someone's head off very easily. Okay, do we get a kill shot? Might well do if we get a good roll. 698. Won't be so lucky. Okay, and our Minnow and SU are you pushing low right now? Are you pushing... Like, at this point, I would actually applaud it if they went behind. Kill the RT is one thing, nice. But getting up and disrupting these STRVs is valuable right now. Now that you're there, I should have been back here and just sitting here waiting. But going back there right now is better than going low. Why is it better? Well, one thing, the enemy have a G100 LT. Why he got himself spotted there, I'm really not sure. Maybe he's trying to go up here, which would be a god tier player if he could make it. But going, what potential do you have going down there? I know. You get spotted by the STRVs, proxy or not, and then you got this. You got this just here. Like, how do you intend to make headway here with the entirety of this coming down this way? You like, go there. You have the entirety of the map in front of you at that point. Oh, I swear to God, dude, people don't know how to play defensive assault. Wow! Wow, that's quite a shot. I don't know if I could have made that one myself. Me, Dystonia man. That's unfortunate. We've all done that. Minor lapse in positioning. Okay, using a bit of health to take a bit of damage at this point. Bit bold, given the shot that you bounced last time to shoot so tenaciously at the upper plate there. And again, using health. We're not too threatened by damage at distance. Woo! Oh, that was pretty. That was pretty indeed. Okay, and now... Did I not call it? I called it what? Like, 4 minutes ago, I called it. I stopped the game and I said, hey, who has the advantage? It's literally like a chess game. It's exactly like a game of chess. Whoever ends with the most pawns is probably going to win. Right? Let me tell you. We got more pawns, and those pawns have been working out. They got more stuff that they can do in this. Like, what can the enemy do? What do they do? They used all the resources they had to try and attack, and the only pieces that they have left are shit defensively orientated pieces. Like, defensive assaults are so simple to deconstruct. You just look at which team has inherently defensively orientated tanks, and you say, oh, well, okay, we'll just sit on our asses in strong positions and challenge them to attack. And you win. I mean, you don't, because your team are composed of random players and they do dumb stuff and lose it for you. But conceptually, you win, which is very nice. We're going straight from the upper plate of Need 75 again. That actually may have connected lower. Don't get spotted. Interesting. And yeah, we did connect that shell. E75 misses in return, most likely due to the stun from the 261. And there's a possibility that if you go up east right now, you find an arty. It's a batch of 15558. It occasionally goes on a walkabout. Minotauro is giving the STRV a loving hug. Tank porn or piggy porn? Maybe we'll get some bacon porn. Oh, hey, he hasn't managed to drown himself. Remarkable. He was trying to do something there. Good for him. I'm so impressed. And Artie actually trying to do something, not kill himself at the end of the game. By the way, he's got no kills here. 7,000 damage. Not a single kill. But yeah, next time you play an assault game, you can dictate so much of your gameplay. I mean, obviously, defensive or offensive dictates your gameplay anyway. That's just how the game mode works. But look at the team list and just try to think, how hard would it be to attack someone who's sitting behind a rock with the tanks that the enemy have? Can I attack someone sitting behind a rock who's going to win in 4 minutes if I do nothing with an STRV, with a Leopard, with a Borsig, with a yada yada yada, right? And often the answer is going to be no, and that provides inherent advantage before any nuance has been piled on top of that engagement, right? And it's something that you have to recognize because it can dictate your gameplay right from the offset. You've got a 261ers coming here to get involved in the party. Is this STRV just in the mid? Has he found a bush in the middle of the map and is just sitting there? I would applaud that if that was the case. This man's done a Houdini better than I could in an even 90. And he got he gets spotted in the last 20 seconds, immediately gets death starred. Nice. Okay. Now, this isn't higher or lower, this is Guess the WN8. And I feel like this gentleman is rather good. The defensive play, sticking near the base, the money location from D1. Obviously, loading full premium is interesting because you might think it's a sign of a better plan. Mostly it is, but it's interesting that he only took 3 HE shells. You would think most people would take at least 4 in this tank. Ammo capacity isn't exactly something you're struggling with 700 alpha damage on deck. But I like the relocation, and I especially liked the pressure at distance. Against a tank like a Carno 40T, I'm thinking specifically of the engagement we had down this A line. Right, that's the first shell off the Carno, but we weren't scared to poke and trade that alpha damage with that Carno as he came in, which is really principled play, right, against autoloaders. Getting them to trade damage when they cannot be in close quarters to dictate the engagement with you and say, okay, I'm going to give you 2-3 shots because you shot me once. If you do that at distance, right, if you trade with them at distance, they can't do that. So it was highly principled play to be trading damage as this guy tried to close the distance and in the end got him killed. So really nice play. So I think Boldham's is fairly accurate. My instinct, for whatever reason, says 57, but I'll go 56.86 for WN8. What's a premium? 2,315. Okay, alright, so estimate 56.86, 2,315. Ooh, okay, better than I thought. We were right, very solid player indeed. Well, I said my instinct was 57. Damn it, I should have gone instinctual. Okay, very good indeed. We got within percent of the win rate though. Getting better recently, always love to see that. With only 20,000 games, he's doing really good. Really good stuff. Cool, well, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Check the description for next and previous episodes. The entire playlist will be there as well. Do remember, we have a new companion series called Higher or Lower. You can find details about that in the description as well, and you can submit to that for only £3 if you would like to. But thank you so much, and bye-bye.
Peabody, cheers from Germany, man. Thought I tried a couple silly verses, my friend. He is a nice guy like Ned Flanders, but wielding a band hammer that make viewers feel him like a gang member, yeah. You better never ever shoot versus the man, cause that's a jerk of his hand, hence you're a permanent ban, yep. Like in a roleplay game, you wield a dagger but get smashed.